Hello Art12 and welcome to your in progress video for shading the Cubism drawing. So as you remember, my color scheme is a split complementary color scheme. I'm using red, yellow green, and blue green. But I did some analogous color with the fading from one color to another, with the red fading into the orange. I have red fading into the paper itself. And then I also did some darker tones of orange. Okay, so the idea is that you're not just coloring the whole thing. We want the fracture and divisions to kind of show. So now as I'm actually starting to work a little bit more, I'm going to be thinking about how to visually separate my different areas. So I'm like looking at this space here. So in order to visually separate it, I could do orange, but that's really similar to the red, and plus I have orange here. So instead, I'm going to use my lighter blue. I'm going to outline for craftsmanship, but I'm not pressing very hard with the outline, because I don't want it to look all outlined. Okay. I recommend, obviously, newspaper, but if you are working on that board, you could try putting it on the surface without newspaper. The key is that it's a smooth value, a smooth transition, and you don't see all of the lines. All right, so if you also want to hold your pencil horizontally, you can. And so I feel like I want to start out that way, and then I'll come back and build up my values. And so since I've kind of outlined my area, then I don't have to be so concerned with overlapping. Okay, so if I want that to be a little bit darker, maybe along this edge a little bit darker and fading down. Okay, then I'm going to switch to my green. So remember, these pencils you can do about, if you do really thin layers, you can do about 3 to 4 layers. And so I changed my layering. So in this one, I believe it was blue on top. And so to get a different tone of my blue-green, I'm doing green on top. So you can change which one's on top to get a little bit more variety with these pencil sets. I just want it to kind of fade out. And then if it looks a little too green, then I can come back and do a thin layer. Okay, so I'm going to use the same technique and the same colors and do that again in another area. All right, so I'm looking maybe over here. Okay, gently outline. Circular motion. And I'm going to start to fade out, lighten my pressure, and make sure that you turn the paper so your arm is comfortable so that you can get a smooth value fading out. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more green. And maybe I'm going to do more green on this side. So now, even though these are very similar colors, they're still dividing and fracturing because this value is a little bit darker and I used a little bit more blue. And if I want that to stand out even more, then I'm going to add another layer fading out. So it's a little bit more intense. So if you're going to put two colors next to each other, make sure the values are different. So then you could also think about, do you want more of one color? That's fine. Just change, like maybe I want to do green first and then blue on top. Maybe I want to add more layers to build up the color in some areas, and maybe just like 2 or 3 layers in other areas. All right, so same colors, same technique. I'm gonna go like in here, so that the change in color divides it visually, or it's a change in value that divides these two. Okay, I want to retain my clean, crisp edges. So I'm holding my pencil more horizontally to use this side of it. So it's a bigger area, and if I want to really get it to look smooth, I'm going to use more of the side of the pencil and less of the tip of the pencil. This is good practice for shading with shading pencils too. Okay, so now I'm going to come back and refine a little bit. So now I am using a little bit more of the tip of the pencil, just to kind of smooth that out a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to come back in with my green to make it blue-green. So remember that you're not just coloring, you're blending, you're fading, and then it's going to look all shaded when we're finished. So you're not just coloring, even like here's my coffee cup, here's the saucer that it's on, and then I have all my negative space. It's not all just one color for the coffee cup and one color for the saucer, and then the background's a different color. The whole point is to use your color scheme throughout your piece to help visually fracture and divide and to distort and to show the multiple viewpoints of your composition. So I usually do like 3 and then switch it up. So now I choose another color and another technique and then add it in like 3 locations. If in the end you do have to put 2 colors next to each other, just make sure you have differences in value. So yes, you can have 2 of the same color next to each other. Maybe you want to do a different technique if they're next to each other, or a lighter value and then a darker value. Or you can change the layering. Maybe I think this one I did green first and this one I did blue first. So you're changing the layering. Okay, continue on. Work smarter, not harder. Same technique, multiple locations. Okay, change, same technique, multiple locations. All right, then change. And then this helps with visual balance as well, because we really want the eye to move around your piece. And when you have colors all sprinkled all over, then your eye will move around the piece. All right, good luck as you continue on.